Kyle Rittenhouse trial, not guilty. He faced 6 charges. A 17-year-old faced life in prison because his actions caused 2 deaths during a Black Lives Matter protest in 2020. And we're going to explore that. Welcome everyone everywhere to the Elite Thinking Club. I'm Chris Jules Julian. I'm joined tonight by Liz and Michael. You guys all right?
Yeah.
Oh yes. Always
so
good.
Excellent. So we said that we would do a part 2 or to be continued. If you haven't done so already, watch the episode part 1 on this Kyle Rittenhouse trial and verdict not guilty, and then come back to this video so you can see how it's all sort of panned out. And if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, just so you can never miss any future episodes of the Elite Thinking Club, which is a podcast dedicated to critical thinking. Critical thinking is the analysis of facts to form a judgment. The subject is complex, which includes the rational, skeptical, and unbiased analysis or evaluation of factual evidence. Critical thinking is self-directed, self-disciplined, self-monitored, and self-corrective thinking. It presupposes assent to rigorous standards of excellence and mindful command of their use. It entails effective communication with problem-solving abilities, as well as a commitment to overcome native egocentrism and sociocentrism. So, in other words, you cannot change anything unless you're willing to understand it, and you cannot understand it unless you're willing to explore it. A good debate doesn't get ugly. We may talk of things that make people feel vulnerable. Beliefs held sacred may be challenged because of life experiences. We're not trying to make people wrong or to incite riot, but simply explore. Welcome to the Elite Thinking Club. Right, let's go in. Kyle Rittenhouse, guys, part 2.
Yeah. Do you want me to start?
Yes.
Go for it, Michael.
Yeah. Because right, yeah. So the last one. So there was
Where
a
did we
few.
got up to?
Yeah, I mean, there was a few things that maybe was said that wasn't 100%. Like, so where he was at the time when it happened is actually where he grew up.
Right.
So he moved elsewhere, but obviously, like, I was born in Stevenage, so as much as I don't want to admit it, I still feel drawn to Stevenage.
So it was his hometown.
Yeah.
He went back home, basically.
Yeah. But the day he was there, because he went back the day before to go to a friend's house.
Right.
Was
so he
it
didn't
far
just
from where he actually lived?
So he was about 20 miles away from where he lived.
Which ain't far. It's about 30 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but he was there visiting a friend. And the day before, he was at a garage cleaning graffiti and trying to help the community.
Right.
Okay.
So that's why he was there.
So actually, it wasn't that he went on Facebook, saw this group getting together and was like, right, I'm going to do something about this. Then he caught the next train, went down there with a rifle and joined in. He was already there. So where did he get, what? He was already,
it was his mate's rifle.
Oh, okay, cool. Because I was thinking, what was he?
Yeah, because it wasn't actually his gun, was it? If
No,
from memory. But yeah, from the trial.
Because they were trying to say that he took the gun, because that was one of the crimes he committed.
Intention.
He took the gun over. No, he took the gun over the state line, which was a criminal offence. But he didn't, because it was already in that state.
Yeah.
So he and his mates and his mate said that he was at a garage, and they were helping protect the garage. Now, when they spoke to the garage owner, he said he didn't ask for it, but other bystanders said that he had asked for people to help him out. So one of the first videos you see is him saying, if something happens, I'm going to run into the danger, which is why I've got my defense weapon and also a first aid kit. I'm going to run into danger to help someone out. So his whole goal was to help somebody out. And do you want me to go more into it?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, man.
So when there was stuff happening, it was outside a garage, so a fuel station. Now, they set a light to a trash bin, like the big ones on wheels, and they were pushing it towards the garage. Now, you see in a video of somebody running over with a fire extinguisher and putting it out.
Yeah.
You don't see who it is, but then later on, you see another video of Carl running past
Yeah,
with
with
a
the
fire
extinguisher
in his hand.
Yeah.
So my math says that was him. And at
Right.
that same
Right.
time, he pissed off the protesters,
Mm-hmm.
which then obviously they didn't like.
Because he was trying to put the fire out.
Yeah, because he was trying to be good. And then, I mean, the second or third person that went to get him might have tried to be protecting the stuff. But the first guy that got shot and died is the same guy that got released from the hospital that night from a mental institution. He still had his bag on him with like his stuff from that place. He had a big chain on it that he had stolen from somewhere. And he had told, because they were in it, like he was with a group earlier on that day. And one of those guys heard him say, if I get one of those by themselves, I'm going to kill him.
Wow.
So there was already intention.
So hold on, that
them.
was the guy that had been released, not Kyle Rittenhouse saying.
No, that was the guy with the chain. The first one that he shot is the same guy.
Right. Okay.
And he'd already admitted
that he just literally left the institute that day and then ended up dead. That's mad.
And he had history.
First day out and he died.
Yeah, but it just shows you your actions mean a lot, don't they? You know.
Yeah, for real. Well said, Michael. Anything more? Like, was there more that we had to cover, but we were a bit grey area in the previous episode?
Yeah, so you can see him. There is. So he's got a chain. He's already said to the group that if he sees him, he's going to kill him. So obviously, there's a bit of that. So you can see, when the shootings, someone runs over, he pulls his gun up, he puts his arms up, he puts the gun down. So it's not like he's just shooting willy-nilly. He's practicing safe gun rules. It's only when someone tries to grab his rifle.
Yeah, tries to grab it off him. Yeah.
So he gets shot because it's self-defense. If someone tried grabbing my rifle, I'm going to shoot. Another guy come up with a pistol, who also got shot.
But the guy that came up to him with the pistol, his perspective, he saw someone else get shot. So he doesn't think that it's self-defense. He thinks that Carl is on a mad one. Do you know what I mean? On a killing spree.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I said. The first one was total in the wrong. Like he went there for blood. The second and third one may have been
misread it. They completely misread it.
They could have, but they still, if someone's got a rifle, you don't run up to him to try and stamp on his head. You don't try and whack him with a fucking scope, which is what they did.
Because in those moments as well, in a heated moment, when you're going into that situation where there's weapons, that it's just going to be destruction. That's all that's going to happen. There's no good is going to come out of that. Like, you're not going to diffuse the situation by going, you don't go into a room of fire and take fire with you. Fire on fire is not good, and it must have been really scary for him, especially his age. We've got to understand his age in all of that as well. Like that's a lot to go through.
A 17-year-old being faced by a mental institutionalized, like, well, he's out
state
now.
Of mind.
I mean, he
chased with a chain
at the time. But...
No, he didn't. But okay, so the guy wasn't young though. This guy that was chasing him, he's a big man. And that energy versus energy, 17-year-old versus that big man, he's gonna be afraid. He's afraid for his life and that's another thing too. When faced with rioters, during riot training, I remember it is intimidating. It is very intimidating. It is actually like, wow, because they used to try and practice trying to get one of us on our own, the mission. So when we was in the army, we would do riot training, have full on riot gear, shields, batons, helmets, everything, right? And the mission, when you were doing like platoon versus platoon, so you'd swap roles, and the rioters' mission was always to try and get one on their own. They would always try and get one on their own. I don't know why it was such a need to do it, but we would always try and get one what do you call them? I don't even know what we'd call ourselves, but one person from the police, if you will, from the riot squad on their own. Don't know why. That was just always the mission. And maybe that's the same mentality they had. And Kyle happened to be that one. They got the one.
They just pounded on him.
Yeah.
Because they saw him doing good and thought he was part of the side, like helping the authorities or what have you. You don't know, like, but they didn't like that he was kind of counter reacting to what they were doing. So,
But then at the
Just,
same
you know,
time,
in those
that whole
moments, it
thing.
gets so heated. It just
Yeah.
gets so heated and over. It's just it's a matter of seconds that those situations can just get blown out of proportion and just destruction happens. It's just a matter of seconds.
That whole thing was over that Jacob Blake.
yeah,
That's why they were
Yes.
there, and he was the wrong one as well.
So we have had a comment, and it's from Paul Halfpenny, and it says, "What's wrong with this whole conversation is the words Black Lives Matter. I love your mum and dad and you and your sister, and I'd fight to death for you, all until the death. But I'm white, and I know your mum and dad would have fought for me. Absolutely nothing to do with colour. It's to do with respect."
thank you,
And then
Paul.
he's also put mental state of mind. So
Yeah, exactly that. Very well presented as well. Yeah, Paul, thank you very much. I'm sure my mom and dad loved that. I love that, you know, it's family.
don't even know you, but I love you. I love you too, Paul.
Paul, yeah,
So-
thank you for the support, man. Seriously, he's always here, and I love that. It's true. It shouldn't even be about color, but this is what rallied people up, especially when this was going on, the court trial and court case, because there were so many people coming up with all reasons why and their own perceptions and Black Lives Matter protests. And then it's a white guy and he's going crazy with a rifle. But then the flip side was he actually didn't kill any black people. He only killed white people. And then it's like, okay, but why did he kill the white people? And it was like self-defense. Was it though?
Again, it was
Because
blown
when it
out
first
of
come out,
proportion. It was
when
blown
it
out of
first come out,
proportion.
people thought he shot at black people.
I did.
Right.
I thought, oh my, right. Okay. So what I perceived just from the MSM, what I heard was he was on trial. He was in a courtroom. He was a young lad. He'd gone into the riots or protests, you know, he'd gone into it and he'd basically took a gun and he'd shot two Black Lives Matter protesters. So in my head, what I perceived from the MSM was that he had killed two black people, and that's why there was this trial was massive. Then when I actually thought, hold on, I'm going to actually watch a bit of this trial, and I only watched a snippet of it. I was like, hold on a minute, I'm confused, because when they showed the pictures of the guys that were involved, I was like, hold on, why then is this why is this all centered around racism and Black Lives Matter?
Yeah.
What he was a young lad, went and attended something. He was trying to do what he was trying to do. He got ganged up on, and he happened to use a weapon for self-defense. That's what he said. That was what was portrayed. And there's no black people that were actually killed, but it was just because it was a Black Lives Matter protest. Okay.
Yeah. And then when that didn't work, they said, okay, then, well, he went towards the police, and then the police did gun him down. If he was a black guy, they would gun him down. So again, why does it have to be a race thing? They already had seen him earlier on that day. So as far as they knew, he was like, they see him with a gun earlier on that day, helping people out, handing water to people, cleaning stuff down, trying to do good things. So if you haven't seen the thing in between, and you're police, you're not going to go, oh, that guy earlier that we see doing good is now bad, and he's got his hands up. He's nowhere near his weapon, and he's saying, "Someone needs help down there. Someone needs help down there," and then he turned himself in after. So I hate the fact that we always go to race.
I don't even feel like it was. I don't think it's us.
It shouldn't even be about colour.
It's the MSM. They're the ones that can make clever wording, or even like not being.
It's divisive. It's divisive tactics. It's
yeah,
just
be appropriate
with
be appropriate with your wording. If you say white guy with rifle kills two people at Black Lives Matter protest, yes, what you're saying is true, but it is misleading. That isn't like, because it does make regular people think Black Lives Matter protest. We put two and two together, like, okay, you know, we don't look into words that deeply. We just see it for what it is. You know, what do you want me to sit there and analyze the headline? Oh, it could mean this, it could mean that. Okay, cool. It's just. And
so I don't see.
But anyway, why doesn't the MSM just say, you know, 17-year-old lad at protest, killed two other people in self-defense, or what have you. Why does the headline have to have Black Lives Matter? Why does the headline have to have anything to do with color?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Stop. Why doesn't it just say,
Yeah.
young lad got in an altercation, 2 other people have been hurt and killed or are in hospital, which he claims was self-defense? That should just be what it is. We don't get the facts. We get misinterpreted, manipulated, twisted, divisive, tactful headlines and misleading information to cause all of the wrongly planted seeds in people's minds, and the perception and the judgment that comes from the public and from society in this sort of topic, in this situation. It's just crazy.
Yeah, so I don't see why they even have to use race. Like if a black person shoots a white person, or a white person shoots a black person, I don't see, why do they say, a black person just shot white person, or a white person just shot black person? Just say somebody shot somebody else.
Yeah, because just remember, we don't live in a world where it's just white and black people. We've got Chinese people, we've got Indian people,
we've got Greek, we've got Turkish, we've got all sorts.
It does kind of really break my heart how like MSM are always reporting on black on white crime or black on black crime. They never ever totally report on every other person in this world. Like it does influence, and this is what breaks my heart more. It influences the narrative for the public, right? So I remember growing up, right? There used to be like TV shows on the BBC, At Home with the Kumars, and East is East was a big film. There used to be this big Asian influx and everyone was happy and all this and that. Next thing you know, 9/11 happens and then everyone's flipping hating on Asians. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Like, what the fuck? Like, instantly. And you just think, who influenced our thinking? And this is why I love the Elite Thinking Club, because we're about critical thinking. Like, we have to start thinking for ourselves. We cannot allow MSM to start influencing how we perceive each other or how we perceive our world, because it is our world, but we're being told how it is by them, and it isn't cool.
It isn't cool. And I feel like at the moment, I feel quite empowered I feel like a lot of people are having like there's a mass awakening, especially with regards to MSM, because of what we've been having to live through the past 20 months. Again, with the divisive tactics and also the misinterpretation of statistics and data, people are now realizing what they get told isn't necessarily the truth, and that what they're getting told is twisted. The words that are used, when people actually Google those words, they're like, hold on, that doesn't actually mean what they're trying to make out to us that means. And they're now realizing, and it is a massive thing, it's conditioning, it's brainwashing, it's hypnotic. MSM can be, you can walk out of your door with a complete perception of an event, but it's misinformed. It's the wrong, completely wrong, because you've listened to what they've said. Denzel Washington said a great quote.
Yes.
I think it was, if you watch the news,
you're misinformed.
If you watch the news, you're misinformed. If you don't watch the news, you're uninformed. Either way, I can't remember what the last bit was, but either way, you're not getting the truth. You've got to find the truth yourself.
And this is really important too, because obviously, Liz, I follow you on the socials, and you have gone to the anti-tyranny marches in London. You've been doing that since it all began, but mainstream media are not promoting it. They're not putting it out there. They're not letting the world know that we actually have this going on in our streets in London.
They actually said something like there was like 250 or 500 people there. I can tell you there was at least 500,000 people that attended at the weekend on the 18th of December, and I'm very proud to have been part of it and continue to be part of it. And it's funny because actually, even just attending those, when I first attended and then I came home and I saw on the BBC they'd reported that a couple of hundred people had took to the streets. I was like, I was there. There was not a couple of hundred people. There was thousands of people, thousands upon thousands, like took over the streets. And that's when I even thought, wow, the power of mainstream media.
I promise you this, because it was peaceful protest, nothing actually happened. Nothing gets reported. I bet if there was someone lighting a bin, for example, and pushing it into buildings and it all went off, mainstream media would be on it like a tramp on chips. They'd be so, not that tramps love chips, but you get what I didn't, that's a really bad metaphor, but they'd be all over it.
I guess these girls like chips.
Right?
Apparently so.
New tactics. I don't okay. Buy some chips when I go out next time. So yeah, honestly, it's insane how quickly they are to jump on news that. But the thing is, we need real news. So there's this big hype surrounding fake news. A lot of people don't trust what they see online by people like, say, like myself, for example. I'll post something a bit conspiracy, but doesn't mean it's wrong. You just got to look into it a little bit more. But that doesn't make it fake news. And this is the worst thing, because people who are a little bit conspiracy, they are finger pointed at as to be crazy, as to be so out there and so mad that isn't true, that isn't right.
Because they don't follow the narrative, the lies.
Right. But the reality is the media are not reporting on what you should be seeing. Like, you're supposed to be seeing that there's thousands of people marching through the streets. And then you tell them that and they're like, well, the news didn't say anything. Yeah, but why would they? So
exactly
what I'm saying is, if you're not following us right now on socials, you've got to go check Michael, go check Liz, go check me. You've got to be following us, not just on Facebook.
I always do my lives at the protest, so people can actually see the enormity of the power of the people and you know, those in attendance. And I sometimes it gets shadow banned, sometimes it gets you know, my lives get blocked so they can't see. But there's so many of us doing the lives at these events.
Exactly. I think we just lost Liz there, Michael.
Maybe, yeah.
It's the MSN, mate. They cracked it. They just they were just like, she's saying stuff. Cut her out. But anyway, like I was saying, if you haven't done so already, you should hit the subscribe button and keep on following us and check us out. And if you haven't done so, yeah, if you would like some, go and get yourself some fan merchandise as well, as Michael's promoting there. We have got hoodies. What else we got? Cups, socks, all sorts. So go check it out. Links in the description. Yes, and what a great way to, you know, evolve the conversation from Kyle Rittenhouse, because obviously loads of stuff is going on like out there. We were talking, Liz mentioned all the stuff that people have been living with in the last 20 months during lockdown. You know, and
it's probably gone.
It's so true. Without the connectivity, like face-to-face stuff, all we have is online trust. You know, and that's kind of like what we're trying to build, like brand wise. We are for creative, critical thinking, because otherwise, if we don't allow ourselves the space to take the time to analyze the situation, and we put complete trust into the people who aren't giving us the relevant news, well, then we will be misled.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind people being wrong as long as they've made the effort to at least try and be right.
Yeah.
But if you just believe the shit that people tell you, then you're a dick.
Well said, Michael. Well presented, that one. Nice.
We've had a couple of comments. We've had.
I really want to light a candle. Go on, Liz. I'm just going to get a lighter and light that candle.
So Paul Halfpenny has come back on and said, "We are family. Your dad was a brother from another mother." And then he's put, "That's the whole news as they lie. It's marketing. Again, it's nothing to do with color. It's just live people, but it's called centralize, however we spell it. Yeah, where they sensationalize it. We are never going to get true news as no one has the balls to report it." I agree.
Oh, true. Yeah, I like that one.
That's also put, "They are being controlled by bosses." Absolutely 100%. And then we've had a message from Hayley Warner, and she has put a website on there where she has put https:/order-order.com, tip-off news site. Thank you, Hayley.
Nice
very
one.
Much.
Love that, Paul. Love that, Hayley. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for the comments. Keep them coming in. We do love interacting with you, and it helps us know what's going on.
And let us know how pretty Elizabeth looks today.
Oh, Michael, you're such a sweetheart. These guys really look after me. They're full of compliments. If ever I come on here and I'm having a funny day or a bad day, they lift me up within seconds. I tell you, they're great. Everybody needs a Jules and a Michael in their life.
Yeah, they do. Apparently, there's no lockdown this Christmas.
But we're here. You know what I mean?
I love you guys. You're
and you can even get clothes so you can wear us to bed.
Yeah, if you want to wear us to bed.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I
think I might get one of them actually for my delivery guy, guys. That might be a nice little. Anyway.
Earlier this week, I posted on my Instagram something that, oh man, it was just incredible. And I know we spoke about it earlier, guys, but if you haven't done so already, read George Orwell's Animal Farm or listen to it in an Audible, right? And it's
I'm gonna have to
incredible.
look
So
for it.
I did, trust me, Michael, this book is
Because
insane.
every time I just think it's that porno.
I know, but it's not.
Animal Farm.
It's not. It's exactly what's really going on now, to be fair.
It is. We've got new people in power and they're just literally making double standards, basically. And basically what it is George Orwell uses the concept of animal farm animals and how just what happens, basically. He's using animals to explain what's going on right now. And it's brilliant, well written, easy to read. So yeah, I was just gassed by it. Now, I didn't know this, but they actually used to have that in the school curriculum about 30 years ago. I didn't know that. 40 years ago. It used to be, people had to read it. It had to be read. Why would you take that out? Why would you take that? That is so, maybe because it is relevant. Maybe it's because it's making people wake up. They're like, fuck, see what's going on here. Don't let them know what's going on here. So I'm just saying it out loud and live. If you haven't done so already, George Orwell, Animal Farm, you need to read it to help you understand exactly what's going on right now in our current state of living here in the UK. I can't speak for the rest of the world, but obviously I only speak for my truth, what I know. But yeah.
You can get it online for like £3 or £4. It's not expensive at all. But yeah, I mean, if you do Audible, do that.
There's free if you do it on Audible.
Yeah.
It's free on Audible.
I need to get onto that, but like, I love reading a book. I love having it in my hands, but I think for time, it might be.
Yeah. Audible is
well done. Yes, Michael.
Nice, Michael.
We should do a book club, guys, because we're always doing books and swapping books and recommending books, aren't we? We should have our own little book club.
There you go.
What's that one there? Astrophysics for people in a hurry.
Oh my gosh, I need to get that.
Yeah, or never actually. Yeah, a really good book as well. Previous episode, check it out. Aaron Welsh, Never Really Over, and that's a great read, actually. To be fair, I'm thinking about doing it live, Liz. I'm thinking about doing when you have the Audible speakers. Thinking about actually just reading live. Who knows? It might. If you don't follow me on TikTok, follow me on TikTok. That's where I do all my lives. Liz is on Insta, and Michael, you're on TikTok and Insta.
I'm on everything.
He's on everything. like an Essex girl on chips. He's on everything.
Yeah.
I might have to get on TikTok. Maybe in the new year. Maybe in the new year I'll get on TikTok. I just don't think I'd be good at all of the.
No, TikTok
is. You're
going
to smash us. You're going to beat us on that because you got boobies.
It's not a competition, Michael.
I'm not getting them out on there, Michael. So
yeah, Liz, if you get your boobies out on TikTok, everyone's going to be all over.
If I just do videos of me getting out of the hot tub, do you think that will get up my?
Yeah. Actually, I don't know. We'll have to check. We'll have to see.
Yeah. Send us some rough copies.
Yeah. We'll let you know.
You guys can vet them for me, yeah? I'll send them to you first.
Love that.
You're so funny.
Right.
So funny.
Part 2, Kyle Rittenhouse, happy days. I love you guys. Is there anything else you want to add to this episode?
No, I just think that we've said it all really with regards to, like if you want to find out about things, trials and events, look it up yourself. Don't just believe what you're told.
Definitely, 100%.
By the MSM, because you can misinterpret and completely prejudge a situation.
Have your own mind, have your own opinion, have your own voice.
Keep your mind open and your eyes and ears as well.
And speak your
truth. We don't have any more comments on that, but thanks for those who did comment.
100%. Hayley, Mike, and Paul, thank you guys. Really appreciate that. Right then, guys.
I just want to say sorry to Carl for having to go through that. Sorry that he felt he needed to do that at 17 years old.
And
that the news literally tried to paint him as a racist bigot who's part of a Nazi organisation and all this other shit that's going to ruin his life.
Wow.
So I personally am sorry that, because he's labelled as a white supremacist now.
Yeah.
Even though he shot white people. But
that will affect him for the rest of his life, like with jobs and everything, won't it?
Yeah. And he has to live with the fact he's killed 2 people. That is not easy to live with.
At such a young age.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, personally, they were scumbags, so I'd be fine with it. But
but still, you'd have the trauma from it, Michael, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I understand. Yeah, I understand that. Which is why I'm sorry for him that he's had to do it.
Yeah, well said, Mark.
Hopefully, he writes a book and then he can get some money from it.
But also as well, thank Christ for the justice system that worked properly that time. You do your due diligence, you look at all the evidence, and you make sure that an innocent, person isn't sent down for he was facing 6 charges. That's fucking hell. Do you know what I mean?
Imagine there wasn't all the video footage.
Yeah.
Imagine we didn't have all of the, all of that. There could have been complete misperception on it all, and he could have ended up doing that. So that's one good side to the whole technology and
exactly. You have a voice, you have a camera, you have eyes, you have ears, you have a mind, you have a brain. Use all combined and make sure that justice is done like properly. Like, we have to help each other out. We have to be there for each other. Everyone, everywhere. Like we always say, peace and love. But we are in it together. All right, cool. Let's wrap this episode up. And if you don't go anywhere, because we probably will be coming back to do another episode. Not sure what on yet until you stay tuned. So stay tuned. And if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button so you can follow us for more. All right. Liz, Michael, thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate you guys as always. And all the viewers, thank you so much. So everyone everywhere, peace and love.